I will present the screen. We were discussing industrial disputes. That is finished. Then afterwards we started with the trade unions. That is union and industrial relations. So in that we saw what is relations, industrial relations, definitions, concept, what is labor relations, what are the objectives of trade unions, and now we are discussing why industrial disputes.
नंबरशी संपर्क करू इच्छिता तो सध्या बंद आहे.
So how do you define industrial dispute? So it means any dispute, industrial dispute is nothing but it is any dispute or difference between employer and employers and employees, or it can be between employees, or it can be between the management also. So any fight, any tussle, that is what is nothing but your industrial dispute is. Now everybody has some needs like economic needs, money. Everybody wants money, social needs, respects, then security, and any of these needs, suppose if it doesn't get satisfied, then the dispute will arise. So economic needs means money, security means fear of retrenchment. So the conflict means a struggle or a clash, and it can be between anyone. It can be between two colleagues also. So whenever an industrial conflict, that is from small, whatever small it is, it becomes or it goes to the larger level, then that conflict becomes a dispute. So basically it is nothing but it is a disagreement. वाद विवाद बोलते हैं हम लोग. So it's a disagreement, and definitely it has a bad impact. So it can cause loss, it can cause losses to the workers, management, and society, and then finally to the nation. Worker will lose their salary, management will lose their profit, public will also suffer because there is a shortage of the material, in the market. And then GDP, that is productivity index at national level, will decrease, will fall down. So, what are the causes of industrial disputes? There are psychological causes, then institutional causes, economic causes. So, what are the psychological causes? Adjustment, difficulty. See, the life itself, since morning to the evening, till we, right from we wake up and till we go to the bed, we are doing adjustment throughout the day. uh. So, if you don't adjust, then conflict will arise. Like train में जा रहे हैं, okay, we have to do adjustment. Fourth seat, चौथा सीट नहीं तो स्टैंडिंग, बराबर है. एंड इफ यू डोंट एडजस्ट देन फाइट्स विल. अगर चौथा सीट नहीं मिल रहा है तो फाइट्स, स्टैंडिंग बराबर नहीं मिल रहा है तो फाइट. क्लैश ऑफ पर्सनालिटीज, लीडरशिप, सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट, recognition. Many times if the discipline is too strict, that also arises, that also gives rise to the disputes. Institutional causes, that is लेबर यूनियंस आर नॉट रिकॉग्नाइज बाय द मैनेजमेंट. मैनेजमेंट बोलता है हम किसको जानता नहीं है, तुमको क्या करना है करो. कलेक्टिव बार्गेनिंग, अनफेयर कंडीशंस एंड प्रैक्टिसेस. Many times the workers are pressurized not to become the members of union, because the more the members in the union, the more will be the strength of the union, and that will be a threat to the management. So these were some institutional causes. Now, what are the economic causes? The economic causes are terms and conditions of the employment. There are many companies who tries to exploit. There are some companies in other countries, like in Gulf countries, or even in the countries like Singapore also. You know, they will recruit the peoples, like say 5,000 Singapore dollars. Okay, so localites they are paying 5,000 Singapore dollars, and foreigners they are paying 6,000 Singapore dollars more, $1,000 more. But then what is the twist? Localites they are getting $5,000 for 8 hours of work, and foreigners they are paying 6,000 for 12 hours of work. Or sometimes they may pay 7,000 also, but they have to work for 12 hours. If they want locals to work for 12 hours, then obviously they have to pay double overtime, so 10,000. So instead of 10,000, they have to pay 7,000, so they are saving 3,000. So once the foreign people, once they join there, and when they come to know okay, this is what you know the employer is playing with us, then that rise to conflict. But by the time they have already signed the agreement before leaving their country, so they can't do anything till the agreement is completed. So working in night shifts, the peoples are biased. Continuously, some peoples are given night shifts, some peoples are given only day shift. Promotion, biasing, layoff, retrenchment, dismissal. So these all uh, are economic causes. Working conditions. very noisy, very dirty, very heaty, too cold, very crowded, congested, layout, poor layout, bad layout, uh, machines not working properly, and still there is a threat from the management वो हम नहीं जानते हैं. ओके, नया मशीन जब भी आएगा तभी देखेंगे, तब तक यही मशीन पे काम करो और चलाइए. ठीक है. So many times the management they ask, they tell the peoples to work like this. So that will give rise to conflict or the dispute. Then wages and other benefits, that is inadequate wages, uh, undesired deductions from the wages. Many times the salary is cut even if you are late by 15 minutes or by half an hour, the salary is deducted. So obviously that will create a tussle between account people and the person whose salary is cut. Fringe benefits, no bonus, other incentives. So these are all causes which gives rise to the disputes. So what does it gives rise to? So basically disputes will arise because the labor laws, regulations, norms, policies, protocols, the standing orders, they are not being followed properly, violated. So this gives rise to strike, lockouts, picketing, घेराव. So that's the ultimate weapon or the final weapon which are used by the worker. And yes, in 80s and 90s, the union was very powerful and strong. So the management was quite afraid that time to the union. So in strike, what happens? The work, there will be a cessation of work, means work is stopped or refusal of the work. So already we have discussed, some the reasons of the disputes. So same are the reasons for the strikes. The disputes will result in strikes. That is wage disputes, working arrangement condition. This is just a repetition. And obviously the effects of strikes will be very costly to the workers because they are losing money. huh. So what to eat? Plus there are other liabilities. So strikes will also cause emotional tensions and mental strains. It will erode away or it will slowly reduce the savings or the funds which has been saved by union, because there will be lot many you know fees which used to be paid to the advocates, and advocates fees are very hefty. It may raise to unemployment because some management who are strict, and if they are not ready to resolve the problem, they will just simply say, yes, tomorrow onwards don't come, I am going to shut the factory. Or if some management is very strong, they know how to get the work done, they will say that yes, I am going to replace the entire team by a new team. Let me see what's going to happen. So these strikes can be violent or non-violent. Violent strikes will lead to the damage to the property, because the people's they become crazy and violent, and they can do the damages to the property. And in case if the strike is not successful, then that will be a major impact on the workers or the persons or the peoples who are doing the strike, because the management has been, isn't it? So whatever the management will say, whatever the salary management want to issue or give, that they will give. So what are the forms of the strike? Official and unofficial. Official strike means which is called upon by the union and by properly giving the notice. So union will properly give the notice to the management. Yes, for if you do not resolve this issue on so and so date, we will be going on the strike, and all the operations will come to shut. I said unofficial strike matlab without informing the management. All of a sudden they stop the operation. That is what is called as the unofficial. Then general and particular strike. So in general strike, there is a combination of the peoples who are stopping or refusing the work. And particular strikes, they have smaller coverage. Small factories, they are not protected, and they don't have any, you know, ways. Then other strikes are go slow strikes, quickle strike, sit down strike. So go slow strike means peoples are working, but instead of producing 300, they will produce 100. That is what is called the go slow. Quickie strike means they will stop the work for certain amount of time. Sit down strike, they will report to the work, but they will not do any work. They will report to the industry, but they will not do any work. Sympathetic strike. So this is the strike which is conducted in sympathy with another group of workers who are already on the strike. So it is kind of a booster dose to the people who are already doing the strike. Then lockout, not lockdown. Hmm. So strike is a weapon to get the things done in favor of workers. Similarly, lockout is the weapon of employer to pressurize workers to come down in their demands. So what do you mean by lockout? Closing the place of employment or suspension of work, or the refusal by an employer to employee any number or persons employed by him. So that's an outcome of an industrial dispute. Lockout is an outcome. So if the employer declares a lockout, he tells workers, okay, ठीक है, I am shutting it down. Okay, you reduce your demands or come to the compromise. So my factory will remain closed for 15 days, 1 month. Means employer he has done some alternative arrangement, because definitely he will have some orders in hands which is to be completed. So he has made some alternative arrangement, some alternative supply, you know, from where he can get the things down. And now he can say that yes, I am declaring a lockout. Means all the operations are stopped. Now you come down on your demands, else it will be completely shut down. So picketing, then next is picketing. What is picketing? It is almost a standard practice when a union strikes against an employer. So here, British, they always form the groups, because if the peoples remain united, then it is very difficult to break. Instead, if they are broken down into groups, then they can be handled easily. So picketing is nothing but this, like you have some group who has not joined the strike, so they'll discourage others. Like some people, 10 out of say 30 peoples, 10 are decided not to go to the work, so they will ask others, remaining 20, they will discourage remaining 20 from doing the work or from going into the work premises. So pressure on the employer increases. Pressure on the employer will increase when employees of other companies refuse to cross picket lines to deliver or pick up goods from the struck employer. So in picketing, the workers may parade also with the banners so that it is made viral or it is made public. So that's a good weapon to pressurize the employer by union. So one group will not allow other groups to enter in the factory or to do the work. So the picket sometimes insult and even block physically the path of the peoples who are entering the factory. Another weapon is घेराव, like strike है, picketing है. Strike में they will stop the activities. Picketing में one group will discourage other group to do the work. घेराव, घेराव मतलब जो चीप पर्सन्स रहते हैं इन द फैक्ट्री, उनको घेराव डालते हैं. So that is nothing but encircling the office of the employer or encircling the top management of the employer. So they will close all the exits and sit around in the batches, and they'll target some officers of the management. The Of course, they will see that they will not target anyone. They'll target the particular persons only who have authorities or who can take the decisions. It may lead, this घेराव may lead to the physical, that is we call as assaultation. Huh? It can lead to the physical damage to the officer also if he doesn't handle the situation properly. The people's or the workers may beat that officer. So how to settle industrial disputes? Then you have something called as a collective bargaining. So collective bargaining means, like suppose if one or two, if they go and if they ask or if they put up the demands, then those demands will not be honored. So instead of that, if you go in a group or collectively, chances of honoring is more. That is what is called as the collective bargaining. So both the parties, that is worker as well as management, they come to some win-win position. They make an agreement. Okay, they sign it. So it constitutes the negotiations between the management and the unions, and it's a written document. It's a written contract. It's a written document, written contract for the settlement. So what are the steps in collective bargaining? So these are the steps. That is, they have to put up their demands and grievances collectively, discuss and negotiate, then sign a formal or informal agreement, union security, wages. So first three were the steps. Now signing a formal or informal agreement. So that agreement will include these things, that is security, wage, bonus, revised, of course, hours of work revised. Everything is revised in favor of workers, holidays, safety, health concerns, grievance procedures, incentives. What is the management responsibility? They will be responsible, management responsibility for what? So these all will be written down in the agreement. Then what is the next step? If there is no agreement, there is no written agreement, then various pressures are brought to bear upon the management by the unions. If the management is not willing, to sign the agreement or to make the agreement, then union will put the pressures. This will give rise to strikes, picketing, ghettos, etc. But if both the parties, that is management as well as worker, if they agree, then it is fine. So you have something for the voluntary arbitrations. These are the methods to settle the disputes. So in voluntary arbitration, a third party, which is neutral, will give the decisions. He acts as a judge. What is establishment of compulsory collective bargaining and compulsory establishment of bipartite committee? So if union or management, if they resist the establishment of voluntary collective bargaining, but if the state feels that the collective bargaining will be useful, then it may advise, encourage, or even impose collective bargaining compulsory on both the parties so that the dispute can be settled through negotiation and discussions. In compulsory establishment of bipartite committee, there is a committee is formed which will have a representative from the workers as well as from the management or from the employer. So such committees work on the principle of nip the evil in the bud. So the main purpose of this committee is to develop good relations, to comment upon the matters of the common interest, and encourage the workers as well as management to settle their differences विदाउट एनी थर्ड पार्टी. मतलब अपना झगड़ा तीसरी जगह क्यों लेके जाने का. घर का जो झगड़ा है वो बाहर क्यों लेके जाने का, बाहर क्यों दिखाने का. घर का झगड़ा है वो घर में ही सॉल्व कीजिए ऐसा. एंड कंपल्सरी आर्बिट्रेशन मीन्स you have to consult outsider. That is what is called the compulsory arbitration. The third party has to be involved. Like pressure vessels, आपने बनाया, आपने चेक किया, लेकिन it has to be tested and checked by the third party. Because third party is neutral, so they will give a neutral decision. Then compulsory conciliations, that is machinery and meditation. Conciliation, it is a process by which discussion between workers and employer is kept going on through the activities of a conciliator, third party. So third party here, he will give the decision in favor to both worker as well as management. Then compulsory investigation. So compulsory investigation may again the committee will be appointed to investigate the dispute. What is the cause of the dispute and how it can be settled. Then there is a grievance committee to handle the grievances of the workers, and there is a procedure to settle the grievance. There is a procedure, that is grievance has to be properly recorded, to return, and it has to be properly given. Like in case of institution, the grievance has to be first given to the class teacher, then class teacher will send it to the HOD. Then HOD, if it is not settled at the level of HOD, then he will forward it to the principal. Like that it is. So there is a set of rules, set of procedures. Directly, it is not advisable to contact higher authority. Now, majority of the times, what are the workers' grievances? It will be mainly for the salary calculation. ज़्यादा मेरा काटा पगार. अगर ज़्यादा मिलता है तो nobody will say, but अगर कट होता है तो everybody will fight. Working conditions. Supervisor. Sometimes they dislike some supervisor, particular supervisor. Partialism. That is in case of promotions. So these are the grievances. They're the common grievances which can be seen in the industry. And then what is the procedure, grievance procedure? So as I said, that it has to be grievance procedure, grievance has to be documented properly and it has to be routed properly and through the committee. And then it has some time in which that grievance has to be settled. So these are the steps grievance procedure में. Participants, arbitration, that is third party. Then you have top management. Then you have top union officials. They interact with each other. Then there is the middle management, union committee man. So this is the person who is suffering, and he is raising the grievance through this procedure. So step by step, the grievance has to be put up, or the grievance has to be settled. There are workers nominate nominees in management committee, hmm, or union nominees in the management committees who helps the management for taking appropriate decisions. So one or two representatives from workers are always there in the management who fight or who put forward the workers' demands or who tries to convince the management. So the workers' participation is very much important. So workers' participations can be formal, informal. In formal participations, again you have ascending type of participation, descending type of participation. Workers can participate in works committees, joint council of the workers and management, information committees, uh, even in the top management committee also workers can participate. uh. And what are the different ways of participation? They can participate through suggestion system, or through they can delegate their representatives. So it's not that workers' voice is not heard. A proper systematic procedure is there to resolve or to improve the union management relations. Of course, now it is taken in a wrong way that sometimes the union supports management, बोलते हैं कि यूनियन पैसा खाता है. Hmm? Now some exceptions will definitely happen. It depends upon the leader. Hmm? We know Narendra Modi is a good leader. Hmm? So everywhere these things are going to happen. So it's a luck that people's or the workers, they will get a good leader or a bad leader. Hmm. If the leader is good, then that's going to be, the people's workers are going to be lucky. Hmm. So then we have industrial legislation and personal management, these two major chapters which are left. In industrial legislation, we have to study uh, what are the Factories Act, which is very important, Minimum Wages Act, what is Workers' Compensation Act. Okay. So in Factories Act also there are amendments, 1948 Factories Act. uh, Then you have various approvals, licensing, registrations of the factories, so many things. So this we'll see later. Workers also should be aware of Workers' Compensation Act. So what kind of compensations they are going to get? What are the different provisions? What are the penalties if they do something bad with the management or with the inspector or with the engineers or with the supervisors, hmm, who has been deputed? Then you have Minimum Wages Act. Of course, this copy being old, don't take the figures in the right way. There is a revision. Like earlier, the insurance was for 1 lakh. Now the insurance is 5 lakhs. Then Workers' Compensation Act. What are the main features of the act, etc., etc. So this we'll see in the next class. So please write your attendance in the chat box. And if you have any doubt, please ask. So thank you very much. So I'll stop the recording.